Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, TasKy. I know I've been a little MIA for the last week or so. As you can hear, I'm kind of sick, but I'm here making amateur hour today, so welcome to it. This week, since I didn't really compete or anything, there's not really any particular story I want to talk about, so I figured this week I would talk about owning an amateur organization. So what I wanted to really talk about was the struggles of being an amateur organization owner. Now, one of the main things is, even if you start right now, or if you start a year from now or a year ago, it's really hard to stay relevant in the amateur community, because unless you have a really bomb team that kind of makes a name for themselves, then it's really hard to promote and get people to really want to be a part of what you're doing and what you're putting together. Because even with this YouTube series, a lot of people like it. It's hard for people to gain interest because there's so many content creators, and there's so many streamers, and there's so many teams, and there's so many competitive players, and there's so many competitive amateur organizations, and there's just so many people that all share the same dream, which I'm not saying is a bad thing, but it's really, really, really difficult to stay relevant, especially with there not being a challenger division. It's not until now that you really have a chance to start working your way into it, because now MLG is starting to do tournaments and series where you can compete for pro points, which is great, but that shit didn't start until just now. It's July 4th, and you mean to tell me that just now we're starting to get some sort of online platform where we could start earning pro points, and it's being promoted and talked about as like, hey, by the way, the challenger division is also super important, so you should totally care about it and grind for it. That's great and all, sure, I'm really excited for that, but fact of the matter is, it's a little late. It's a little late to be broadcasting that and making that like a commercial, basically, for people to start getting interested now, as opposed to the teams that were together and the organizations that were ready at the beginning of Black Ops 3. When they were ready, like Team DeceiT was, we were ready when Black Ops 3 came out. We were ready to get a team and start funding things and putting things together and getting ready to go to events and competing and doing all this other stuff. We were ready back then, and just now is when they actually are saying, oh, by the way, the challenger division actually does fucking matter. Speaking of funding and stuff, that's another thing I wanted to talk about with owning an amateur organization. Every single player comes into the organization, whether they're a part of it or they're interested in joining or whatever, 9 times out of 10 the very first question is, do you guys fund? And the minute that we say no, we either don't hear from them at all again, or they kind of just start trailing off and saying the next day, or even within 4 to 5 hours, oh, we got another offer from another organization, so it was real, but we'll talk to you. And it's like, as an owner, it's completely different. Now, as a player, yeah, I can kind of see, okay, an organization wants me to play for them. Cool. How far can I go with this organization? What are they willing to offer me, because they've seen what I can do and this and that. How much are they willing to offer me? You're not really going to offer me much. I'm still going to play really well, but I'm going to try to keep my options open. And I understand that. As a player, I totally get that. But as an owner, it's something completely different, because the minute that you come to me and say, hey, glad to be a part of your organization, how much are you going to fund us? It's like, all right, well, first off, I don't even know you guys, so I'm not just going to throw money at you. That's not going to happen. That's not how it works. I do want to know, though, if you guys can earn it. I don't know. It just seems like everybody that is like a serious player and wants to play for an organization and all that stuff, it just really feels like they feel like they are entitled to, hey, I'm going to join this organization, and they're going to buy my team passes, and they're going to buy my plane tickets, and they're going to buy my hotel rooms and they're going to give me money for food. That's not how it works. It's never how it's going to happen. I mean, unless you get, the organizations where people own like their own business and stuff, fucking just super dumb idiot rich, they can just throw money at it. By all means, go play for them, because they don't care. As long as you're doing your job, you're slaying out, you're playing the hill, you're running flags, whatever. As long as you're doing that, they're going to be happy, because they can just throw money at it. If it doesn't work, they can just throw more money at it. That's not something that I would want to be a part of. I would personally like to be in a situation where I would have to earn it, because, like, hey, I'm a good player, so give me money and shit. It just doesn't feel right. And I mean, as an amateur organization owner, that's kind of what's expected of you. People just kind of expect you to fund everything and get all these crazy sponsors and do all this promotion and all this other stuff. And while I get, being an owner of an organization really does mean, okay, I have to worry about talking to sponsors, and I have to worry about promotion, and I have to worry about making sure that the org is moving forward. It's really, really difficult. Going back to what I was saying before, it's really, really difficult to stay relevant, in a sense, in this current environment, because every single day there's a new organization that pops up, and there's a new trend, or something. Like, there's just always something new in this community, which is great, because change is awesome. But it makes it really hard for the underdogs like us to really show up and make an impact and have it mean something. Another thing I want to talk about is sponsorships. As an amateur organization, you can find sponsorships anywhere. Find some company that makes grips for your thumbsticks, and they're sponsoring 40 different people a minute. You can go to cinchgaming.com and sign up for a sponsorship there, except for Scuff, Astro, Audio-Technica, BenQ, Control Freak, any of those big sponsorships, the ones that kind of mean you made it in this community. Anything else, though, you could apply for, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna get it. That's a real problem. There's nothing special about it. You're not something new and fresh that's coming into Cinch Gaming, sitting there thinking like, wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. This organization really means it. We really think that they could change the face of Cinch Gaming, and that's something that we really want to be a part of, so we're gonna sponsor you. That's not how it works. Cool as it may sound to be able to list 14 different sponsors on your organization, it doesn't mean shit unless you actually have a sponsor that has come to you and said, hey, we will give you either free products, or we will send you to events, or we will pay for jerseys, or we'll give you something. We'll try to help you along the best that we can. Then the sponsorships that you're actually getting from like Cinch Gaming and stuff like that, it doesn't help you at all. So anybody that's just starting out, or you've been going for a while and you just can't really figure out why it's not working out, all that's really doing for you is kind of giving you this false sense of, oh, I have a sponsor, whereas realistically all it's doing is promoting them. And you can look at all of their sponsorship levels, and it's usually like bronze, silver, gold, platinum, that sort of thing. And platinum is actually the one where it's like, okay, we'll send you a couple controllers, we'll help you go to events, we'll do stuff for you. In order to get there, you have to move up from bronze to platinum, and each sponsorship level, there's always some sort of crazy catch where it's like, we'll give you a 5% discount code, and then you have to sell fucking 50 controllers or something, using the code that we gave you. And that's not a discount code like most people would think. If anything, that's just a tracking code. What I mean by that is they're gonna see, okay, this person bought a controller with tracking code DeceiT. That means that we have to give them 1 sale or 1 point towards them being relevant with us. Otherwise, it doesn't fucking matter. Don't waste your time with Cinch Gaming or anything that requires you to sell a certain amount in order to be in a better standing with them. It's not a real sponsorship, and all it's doing is promoting them and helping them out. Stay away from it. Last thing I want to talk about for this. New teams that come into your organization and then leave. That shit is fucking annoying, and I'm over it. And that is definitely something that belongs in amateur hour, because I don't know how many times that I would be sitting on Twitter or something and somebody would say, hey, we want to come play for you, and I'd be like, okay, great, let me spectate a scrim or something like that so I could watch and see what you guys got. They play amazing, it looks fucking great, we work out a deal, they come under DeceiT, they start playing. Even within the next hour or so, somebody is either leaving, somebody has been dropped. Kids don't fucking stick together no matter what, and I can understand a loss is frustrating. You've got to try and work out the problems in your team, because otherwise you're just a piece of shit. I don't know, I can't even name how many times, how many different players, there's one problem and they're done. That team's done forever. That's gonna do it for this episode. Thanks for coming out. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Drop a like, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't really care. I'm up out of here.